Hi guys, welcome to this month's exclusive. We are here with Cynthia from Thousand Islands Records. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us. Now you're the owner, operator of, or one of, I believe you are in a partnership with your husband on this?
Husband, and then we have three other partners as well in the whole label.
Yeah. So a big thing that drew me to your site was the fact that you were Canadian, and as a Canadian, I like to support that local, up north scene. But also the cool thing that I thought was a great selling feature towards your stuff is that your prices included both Canadian and American prices. So I can assume that you're shipping to both countries from both countries.
Yes, we're shipping from Montreal. We have a partnership to ship with U.S. prices to the States, so we get the media mail price, which is like you pay $3 to ship a vinyl. That's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, because you don't see that often. As a Canadian going through most labels, everything you see is almost in US and in US shipping, which is a huge deterrent to me personally, because if I'm going to spend $15, I have a hard time spending $20 for shipping. Laura can be a huge attestament to that because I send all my merch to her because it's the only way I could ever afford merch.
Yeah,
It's true.
and then you
We have
get
a
it
Terry
shipped
box.
out.
It comes like quarterly, I feel. We just load it up until it's too full and we ship it.
Now, was
It's
that
cheaper
always
that way.
was that always the plan for the label to be able to offer both?
Nope, we started all with Canadian prices, and then we figured that it was just too much, and we were losing sales in the States, and we have so many fans in the States that want to hear our band's music that we just started trying to figure out what we can do and how to get that U.S. deal on music, and it worked out well. We have a great partnership with our shippers, and yeah, we're
Yeah.
happy. We're very happy with it.
So you're located in Montreal, which is in Quebec. Um, there's a huge variety as to where your bands come from. And we're going to talk about some of them today. But you have the U.S., you have the U.K., you have a lot in Canada too.
Mhm.
I'm really loving how you guys are expanding. Just that international scene, because it's nice to see bands that I may not have picked up. And one we're going to be speaking about is from the UK, which I thought was awesome. Is that kind of how the plan is? Because you do have some partnerships out there in Europe.
Yes, we do some co-releases with different labels on depending on which releases. We do it Lockjaw, we do it Isbam. Yeah, we have distros as well. Some people distro for us in Japan. We have bands in Australia. We have we love everyone all over the world. So
It's like we say here, big or small, we love them all. So, so I guess we should get into right to some of the albums. So the first one we have is Record Thieves, Wasting Time. This one was released as a full length, which is really good. It's a nice melodic. I do get some skate out of that. Now, they're from Denver, and they recently signed with you guys.
yes, Bruno got a hold of their album. I'd say last spring, and he would just listen to them on random in the car, like over and over and over. And he approached them to release it on vinyl, and it's been a great success. The album is great. I've over listened to it, and I still love it. If you asked me to play a song, I wouldn't even tell you which one because they're all great. I just say just pick one. Yeah, but they're a great band. And they're a great mix of bands as well from different band that came together. That's great.
Yeah, definitely dug the melodic vibe to this. It's all throughout it. It has parts where it picks up a bit harder and then a little bit slows it down and stuff. The vocals I actually found to be quite unique. I really dig them. It's very nice and big and powerful. It's a great combination.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Face to Face and their style. That's
Yeah,
what
I
they
actually,
done as well.
yeah, that Melancholy was kind of one of the bands that came out for that one. I find his voice to almost be similar to his
Yeah.
voice as well, and their style. I really found it to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have next, Terry? Let's see. Oh, ooh, we have the single by the Fly Downs that just came out called Crashing Down.
Yes. Jesse, the singer of the Fly Down, has been an editor for us at Punk and Normal Activity for, I say 4 or 5 years, probably 5 years now.
Oh, cool.
And we found out about his band. I actually never seen them play, but he would always send me samples and songs and what was coming out. And we feel that with this album, they got a lot stronger, a lot more quality in their music and their sound, true to themselves, but it's just a great album. And we were like, you know what? We're ready. You guys are ready, and bring it on, and we're going to release it. And they were so happy. We actually just like everything was confirmed like about a month ago or so. So everything's in the plan for a vinyl release, and I think, well, I won't say too much because not everything might be.
All your secrets.
Yeah. After the artwork will be announced by then, so I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I really enjoyed it. We just listened to it yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is. I wasn't sure what to expect. Honestly, I was like, I've never heard of these guys. You just go into it kind of blind, and I was really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, his voice is very different as well. He's very like from the throat, and yeah, it's very clean and clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely that clean and clear. Now these guys are out of Ottawa, which is, hey, our home and native land. Is there a big scene out in Ottawa? Like, you're in Montreal and you're not too far away. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. Oh my gosh, I haven't driven there in years, but yeah, that is pretty close. Oh my gosh. And so, do you see that crossover? Like, they'll often go up to Montreal and vice versa.
Yes. Whenever like bands tour around here, they will do a stop in Montreal, a stop in Ottawa, and then Toronto. So it's not really in the middle, but kind of. I'd say there is a scene. It's a tough scene there. I've seen shows there, and it wasn't always full, but they have great venues though.
Yeah, well, the province is such a beautiful spot. Like, if you go to Byward Market in Ottawa, you just have to really go there and go check out. They have bars everywhere. First of all, Montreal too. Like, I guess you guys have the Brewery District, and then there's Old Montreal. So there's a lot of stuff going on there too.
Yeah, here, yes. Well, Montreal is very busy. It's a crazy place. You can just walk around, like bar hop everywhere. Everything can be done by. You don't have to drive. You can just park a car and just walk around, like Pouzza Fest. That's what happens at Pouzza Fest.
Yes, so before pandemic, I actually had full plans of going to Pouzza Fest for the first time, and unfortunately with the pandemic, because that happens out in May, about mid-May, I want to say.
Yes, it's the long weekend in May.
Yeah, so that's a 3-day festival. Now, my friend was telling me all about it, and that's kind of how I got hooked up, is that essentially it's free to go in.
So Pouzza Fest is, I would say, 6 or 7 venues that to get in you have to pay. You have to buy your wristlet, so your wristband for the whole weekend. But the outside stage, which is the main stage where all the headliners play, is free. To be closer to the scene, you have to buy your bracelet. But for the rest, you can just hang out on the lawn and just enjoy a free show.
Wow, but that's still pretty cool to see headliners play for free. I don't care. I'll be far, like whatever. That's pretty amazing. Now, how many? Like, that's, I guess, 3 days, so you get about 3 headliners, or is there more than that?
No, there's more than that. It's from, say, like on the Friday, it starts at 5 and then goes to there's like secret shows, so it's till 3, at least 3 in the morning. It's like outside show will end at 11, but inside shows will end at 3. So it's a crazy weekend. You don't sleep. Everyone catches the Pouzza cold because everyone is just like sick of, like, you just hug everyone, which we don't do anymore. But but it's my favorite festival. I could talk about Pouzza Fest for hours and hours. I have so many like happy memories and the people I've met, and like Pizza Fest is the start of festival season here. It's the first one, so it's just actually last year in May on Puzza weekend, I cried for like 2 days in a ball. Like I couldn't. Yeah, it didn't happen. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. I really doubt it, but fingers crossed next year it will happen. But it's an amazing festival. You get to like the venues are all small, so you get to like be very close to your friends and your and the bands and everyone. It's more like a kind of like fest where it's all bands playing. So everyone who's there are usually in bands as well. There's like over like 150 bands playing throughout the weekend. It's crazy. And there's like secret shows that you get texted from, like, oh my God, there's a secret show at that time, so go to that venue. It's great.
Yeah, now, like, Montreal and Quebec in general is just, I remember when I was much younger and going to check it out, and you guys know how to party. I don't care what scene you're in. If you're even going to see a Habs game, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to Montreal, you're going there for a great time, or even Quebec in general. Like, you guys really know. And you guys, I do remember always punk, and even like, because how I would cross to Quebec is through the Northern Channel, so like Ville-Marie and all that. But like, as soon as I hit that border, it was like, boom, punk was on, and people were just happening, and they're just, you never also felt like a stranger in Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
I found that to be a very big thing about Quebec, is that you never feel like you're a stranger. You can pretty much walk to anyone and they will treat you to a very great time.
We try. and just out of that, which is very funny because no one ever talks about that city. I was actually born in Ville-Marie.
Were you really? Oh my God,
Yes.
I remember the truck rodeo every year. I've been going ever since I was like
16. I live there.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I have friends that still live there.
I'm going to assume we're near of age, and I'm pretty sure we have met and maybe possibly hang out, just not know about it. Because, yeah, from the ages of 16 straight to about 20, I was going to that rodeo. For those who don't know, it's a giant transport, two of them, and they race up this hill with shit in their back, and they go all slow and stuff, but like all the smoke and the craziness, and yeah, it's a fun weekend.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. They've been having that for years. So we'll just keep going now before we start That's such a small world, you guys. It just
very.
So the third one, which I absolutely, and Laura can attest to this, we both just loved it, is Drones out of the UK.
I think this may be my favorite out of the list that you've given us. I hate to even like pick favorites, but it's the one that I keep just replaying over and over again. And I'm like, oh my God, you have like a different favorite every time you listen to it. It's so good.
I wouldn't even know where to start with that album. They're just an amazing band. Their sound is just so different. And from one song to another, you get a different vibe. Like they're for every genre. They like everyone will love them, because if you're more into like hardcore punk rock and then more like alternative punk rock, like it just fits for everyone, and it's great. And her voice is so amazing.
Super powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
And like it's a beautiful voice. It's not, I find with singing, there's a whole variety of beautiful, but she's like pretty beautiful, but with like so much power that if you were to stand about 2 feet away, you would be knocked out off your socks. Like that's just how much power. And you feel through that whole album the amount of emotion that she puts out in those songs. Like every time I hear it, I get chills off the bat. It's one of those albums that like, it electrifies you almost.
Yeah, it makes me really excited for when shows come back. I can't wait to see them live, because like I always say this, I always find these bands I fall down the rabbit hole with, like you start with a couple songs, and then before you know it, you're like albums deep listening to things that like have barely been released and stuff like that, and like watching YouTube videos. So that's what I did with Drones, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to experience this the right way, you know what I mean? And this album is just really, it's like on another level. It's awesome. Like you said, it appeals to the masses, and there's so many different things about it that work so well together. But you're just like, oh my god, I kind of wasn't expecting this, you know. And it's every single song.
And the good news is when show starts back, you'll be able to see them live, because for sure, Stephen Rawls from their base booking is working really hard to bring them over. So they will be here for sure.
That's
hopefully
awesome.
2021 by the end, or then 2022.
Yeah, you know, they were just amazing. Now Lois is the lead singer. Yeah, I found them really to be a nice balance of melodic, skate, hardcore, almost all merged into one. Now their 4-song EP, they're currently writing a full length that's going to come out.
That one's the full length. Well, it's not a 4-song EP.
By the time this is out,
singles, yes.
The full length will be out.
Yes.
Yes. We do shoot these a bit in advance, guys. But yeah, I could not pick a favorite off these 4. And these are their 4 singles. I cannot wait to see what else is coming off this album, because I don't think I'll be able to pick from that whole set.
Yeah, we hopefully, like, I think they're going to be huge. I think they're just going to blow up and just be like everywhere really quickly. I think that, like, I've heard the whole album. I can even send it to you after if you want to listen to it. Just don't share it with anyone. But yeah, I think this album is the one that will make everyone listen to them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you found something very special here, and hang on to that.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to hear the rest of that, because like Terry said, these 4 are fantastic. It makes it really tough, really, really hard to pick, like which one you like the best. You know, I found myself, I kept going back between Josephine and Epitaph, but like, again, all 4 are fantastic. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so we have a full length coming, and now what? Like what am I supposed to prepare myself for, you know?
Yeah, and
I love that about bands, when they can kind of like get that excitement going for you after releasing, 4 songs off of a full length. I think that's really cool. I'm excited.
Yeah,
that's one of the releases we did with Lockjaw as well in the UK. Yeah,
and you guys have been, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about this. I'm not going to put my focus in this, because I do this often. I find that during a pandemic, to release something you guys are just pumping stuff out. And I definitely want to commend you guys for doing so, because to me as a fan, I'm living for it. We're going to be talking about a couple other releases coming up here, but you guys have been incredibly busy during pandemic.
Yes. I think that, like, I'd say last fall, we would tell the bands that wanted to release stuff to, like, hold on a little, just make, like, let's see what happens. And we didn't want anyone to fall through, because there was just everything was on the news all the time. And we feel that for the past, like, 3 or 4 months, the news have been quieter. Well, here, and not in the States, but here it's been quieter. And then I think it's just the perfect time to release some new stuff. It's spring. People are expecting new things. People want to move forward with everything that's happening in the world. And I think bringing new music on is the best way to do it. Well, to me it is. It's my medication. So I need music to be happy, and I think that's what we're trying to do. Things.
I like that you said that, because you're actually looking at this through a fan perspective, not only just a record label owner's perspective, because you need it too, which...
Oh, definitely.
Often when we talk to people, they're like, oh, well, how many people are going to watch my shows? And, to hear you say, look, I'm a fan too. I need it just as much as you guys, that's why I'm going to release it, because we all need it right now. That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing that.
We need positivity.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I'm going to go back to drones here. Lois is a very big proponent towards mental health. If you go check out her Facebook page, you will see some PMA sessions. You will see some nice positive affirmations throughout. She seems to be very in tune with making sure that everybody's okay. And I always love and support bands that do that. So many people right now are struggling. So it's nice to have, you know, artists out there, you know, delivering messages of hope. And, you know, this album I did find, although the title, which is, wait, I gotta come back to this. Oh yeah, Our Hell's Right Here. You know, I still felt hope in that, the 4 songs. Sometimes when, especially with a title like that, it's, you don't know what to expect, you know, you're just, okay, is this doom and gloom? And I don't know what the message, but also just the whole band's demeanor and her voice and the way she's projecting their music. It just like, it's something that absolutely put a pep in my step.
I agree.
I think it's just because it's so big and it's so solid that you're like, oh, okay, this is something I can kind of hold on to a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're kind of like a band that comes in. It's like, we're coming into here and we're going to rock you guys, and you guys are going to know who we are, because I felt that, you know. I was like, whoa, it kind of takes you back when you first start, and you're like, no, I totally dig this, you know, like you just want to kind of run through and listen to more. Another one that you guys just released recently, and there were 2 songs, and has been a very big, brings me to my happy place. I'm going to give this to the Counterpunch, but there are 2 songs, separate EPs. So we have Handbook for the Recently Debriefed and We the Roll. These guys also released 2 lyrical videos of these, not because I asked, just so you guys are clear. I didn't know. I really did not know. And yes, they may have surprised me, but it wasn't because of me. They had this plan, I'm sure, long before I even was.
It was such a great coincidence. Terry's like, man, I really wish they would put out a lyric video or something, because I want to make sure I'm getting it right. And like 8 hours later, there's the lyric video up. I was like, whoa.
So yeah, I guess we kind of have to explain how we shoot Sunday Spin real quick, just for those who may not know. We actually shoot Sunday Spin on Thursdays, typically. The Friday, I believe, was when they released it, or they released it just shortly after I'd done the taping, but I didn't know. I actually only found out on Sunday because they had liked it, so I went to go and say, hey, thanks, and then I was like stumped. Also shared it on my timeline too, which completely stumped me, but these 2 songs are fun. A little bit in the, you know, I don't want to say doom and gloom, it's not quite right. But yeah, the songs, and I wanted to dance. I've been belting all of it for, I guess, weeks now, because I think
they're great. They're so catchy.
Oh, yeah. They really are. I find it's a combination of skate and sing-songy and, you know, that hardcore, which I'm hooked, so whatever. But these guys are out of Chicago.
Yes.
And they released an album back in 2016. Were they with your label then as well?
Nope. Oh, it's new. It's a co-release with SBAM as well, and it was just meant to be. They're a great band. We've been following them for a long time, listening to them religiously, and then we got the opportunity. And then there's going to be a full length coming out this year as well. In 2021. Yeah.
We just made 2021 extra special, and thank you guys for doing that. You know, can I just request more things? Maybe that's just how it's gonna.
well, how about I get them to be on a podcast episode?
Oh my God!
We would love that.
We would love that. I don't know if I usually talk a lot during these shows, and I think you're gonna find me stumped and quiet, and just maybe the fangirl will come out just a little bit. Now, they released these 2 EPs. They actually have EP variants, and the artist was SBAM for both covers.
Yes, it's one. Give me 2 seconds, I'll go get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're packing them right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's okay.
I'm not sure what color I picked, but it's a really cool. So there's one.
Ooh.
Then the other is on the other side.
Oh, cool.
So whenever you take it out, It's
Oh.
always on the right side.
Oh.
And I picked the blue and yellow splatter. Not sure we see it. Well, we don't really see it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's a great album, and just the touch of the cardboard, I love it. I don't know how they made it, but it's like kind of like 3D. It's great.
Oh, it's
Oh,
got
awesome.
like that little print on top,
Yeah.
like the bossness. I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how have you? Were you ever able? Have you been able to see these guys live prior to their release?
I don't recall seeing them live. I don't think they've. I don't think they've played Poudza Fest, and I haven't been to other fest, so I don't recall seeing them live.
No,
No,
but
but that's
hopefully,
fine. Oh, definitely.
yeah, hopefully that'll happen soon-ish, as long as
Yeah.
everybody's safe. But
Mhm.
is there kind of any once the album gets released, do you guys kind of plan tours with album releases?
Usually the bands take care of planning their own tours. We do try to, when possible, go to album parties, like release parties. Whenever it's closer, we try to be there. Quebec City, Ottawa. We went to one in Calgary. So we try, but it's not always possible. We do have 3 kids. So
You guys are busy because you guys are doing a lot of the bulk of the work right now at home. That's got to be something because I'm going to assume your kids were following the same rule as my kids and they were at home for a little while. Were schools open the whole time or they locked it down as well too, right?
they were locked down until last semester, not last semester, but last year. And then they go to school. They have been to school for the whole year. So we have a little bit of free time.
That's good.
Yeah, we pack at night. Well, our warehouse is at home. So we pack here and we ship everything from here.
Awesome.
On the kitchen table.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on release dates for these bands, and we would absolutely love to see them on this show. Sound the Alarm, especially because I've been a big fan, especially once these two, and I kind of went back and listened to their last album, and it's just as good too. So I'm really excited. I hope they really stick to this style. It really works for them. Their voice, I love their harmonies. I love the lead singer's voice is just, it's different, but it's good different. I find it to be very clear and, you can really hear the heart in it, but it's still in a nice fashion that you can still understand everything that's going down and what they're saying.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right. So leading up, I guess we only have a little bit more time left. So we definitely kind of want to talk about things that are coming up, which is a soon to be released would be Belvedere.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler.
Spoiler.
For whoever has been living under a rock for like a couple of days now. Very, very, very extremely proud to welcome Belvedere to the label. We've been working with Steve closely for a couple of years now, just through booking bands and stuff. And he actually introduced us to drones. So thank you, Steve. But this is just like, as someone who's been listening to punk rock for like 25 years or so, it's completely crazy. It's kind of like whenever we talk to other label mates or like partners and we say, so 5 years ago, would you ever dreamt of signing Belvedere to the label? They're like, no. You wouldn't even dream about it, but it's crazy. And this new album is true to their sound. It's amazing. Nothing has been released yet, so there's no songs out. But I can't wait for people to hear it. I think there's gonna be 4 singles released before the full album is released. And yeah, we just can't wait. I'm not gonna announce a date, but it's gonna be in spring. Yep. I don't want to say too much, so.
And that's fair. Now, kind of what goes into the decision making is when it comes to releasing an album and kind of selecting. Since that you're the one that I kind of want to pick your brain because I've always questioned what makes that release date, the date that you guys release something.
Well, we always like talk with the bands, and it is a co-release with Lockjaw as well, and we always want to make sure that nothing drops or single drops at the same time as anyone else's. We don't want to have like a local band be crushed with like a bigger band's release, so because it's not fair to them. So we try to arrange. We have a huge calendar. We write everything down, and we will push people around. We will move things around to make sure that everyone is happy. That also for like co-releases, that both labels are okay with the release. Some dates are special to bands as well, so we always have to take that into consideration. In this case, we just went with what Steven wanted, days that he wanted, and we just worked everything around.
That's awesome. Now, will we be seeing a vinyl of this?
Yes.
Very cool. I'm not going to dig too much as to, are there going to be any variants, perhaps?
Yes.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, there's going to be 4. 2 for us, 2 for Lockjaw, but I'm not sure. I think we've just decided on colors. The artwork was just finished, and then we're just wrapping everything up. Yeah,
It's been a while since they put anything out, too, I believe.
I think last one was 5 years, 2016. I think 2015. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
for that.
everyone is just very like excited to hear what's going to be on this new album, and like the songs are so different yet very Belvedere-ish. They like they haven't changed anything. It's still the same. Steven has he's been very true to himself, and I can't wait.
Yes,
very excited.
It's so tough because you don't want to give away too much.
Exactly.
And you're like, go check it out, trust what I'm saying to you. And, I'm trusting what you're saying to me. You guys have been nothing but amazing this far, just in 2020 and 20 so far. We're not even done 2 months.
No.
You guys are.
I know. We're actually, I think one, I haven't sent it to you, and I want to just sneak it in. We're also releasing the new Chaser album with SM, and
I love Chaser.
Love them.
They're just so fun. They're just great guys, very professional to work with, very organized. It was supposed to be released last year, then they released their EP instead because they wanted the fans to be able to enjoy it more in a more happy setting, I guess. And let me check my calendar. There will be the new single is going to be out by the time this is released. And we're going to be very close to the pre-orders as well to be announced. They work so hard. They deserve to all the success that is coming to them right now, and this new album is gonna. I think you're gonna see them. You're gonna see a lot of them at all the festivals all over for the next couple of years, definitely.
Awesome. Now, I will say that Mike is a that dude works hard. Not only so I don't know how I came to talking to him. I don't know if I added him or he added me, but we sat there and talked for an hour after about him coming up Northern Ontario and touring, and if I lived near where he was going. And I'm like, no, I live nowhere near it. But he's like, if you do, you come and check us out. And to take the time and actually speak to fans and actually care to know where they're coming from and where they not only does that take time, but that is real dedication. I know that was kind of the first thing that struck me from any other band that I've actually ever spoken to, was the outreach that he worked so hard on. And, I totally wish him the best of success with this new album. I absolutely believe that they deserve everything that they get. They definitely work hard. I want to say a little bit of that skate punk, that melodic comes through again. Do you find their style is going to be following?
Yes, very much. Yes. It's totally skate punk, melodic skate punk. It's every song has this very like catchy rhythm to it, and you just want to like hop around and sing very loud and just be very happy and party with everyone. That's what drew me to them. I met them 3 years ago at Music for Cancer here. I was a volunteer, and we have the Thousand Island stage at the festival, and they were doing after party acoustic sets. And I was in charge of them, making sure that everything was okay. And then I saw their set, and they just blew me away. And we had issues with the bass drum. Bass drum kept like ripping apart. We had to like run around and get new skins and fix it. And it was we had a great time. I chatted with them. We did interviews, and we just connected. And then we've been talking since whenever they come to Montreal. Puza Fest, we would hang out with them, and then like I would pitch in like, hey, what about we release your next album? And crazy world, it happened. So
That's awesome.
yeah, definitely. Same thing happened with Much the Same as well. We
Wow.
just threw it out there. You should release your next album with us. Oh, why should I? Well, here are some reasons why, and here you go.
The rest is.
I think that's a big thing too, though, is for people, you know, like Terry said, that outreach is important for you to for them to know that you care enough is a big thing. And I'm sure, you know, like Terry said, that was a thing for her to be drawn to them. It's probably why bands are also drawn to you, you know, oh, hey, this label cares enough to be like, hey, this is what we can offer you, and this is how we can help you out. And that speaks volumes.
Definitely.
Especially, I think, at a time like right now, you know, with the pandemic and everything like that, it's so important to be transparent and helpful and for people to know that.
Yeah, I agree. Whenever, like, I remember last Puza Fest, like 2 years ago, I was hanging out with Chaser at the merch table, and fans would come up to them and they would just talk to them for like half hours. And I think that's so huge of bands when they're easy to get to and talk, like easy to get a contact with, and whenever like they will reply to your text or reply to your message on Facebook and interact with the fans, that's what makes them grow like so much more.
For sure. Now, unfortunately, we are coming to the end. So if people wanted to see your stuff and buy some stuff, and make sure you go check out that Kettle Punch and Drones and, you know, Record Thieves, how would they do so?
They can just go on thousandislandsrecords.com, Thousand Islands with an S, records.com. Everyone forgets the S. And yeah, you can just pick on top right, if I'm not mistaken, if you want to do US or Canadian price, and yeah.
Yeah, and
everything is there.
The cool thing about it too is if you're undecided as to which country you want to go to, they show both, which I thought was just amazing. It's little tiny things like that I find, especially with a label, that just sets you guys just above everybody else, which, you know, congrats and kudos to you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you again so much for joining us, and we look very forward to checking out that new release of the Chasers, that new release of the Belvederes, Drones, full length. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I was very nervous and all went well.
Oh, yeah.